Hi Stampers, my name is Sandy Hancock and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Southern California, and today is Monday, October the 20th, 2025. Today we're going to be working with Petals of Beauty. I showed you all the parts to the suite called Brushed with Beauty. The other set that I primarily used last week was Words of Beauty, and I am going to use this again, but I didn't use the Petals of Beauty. They have all the pretty flowers in them. And then, so two-step, two-step, two-step. Yeah. And then we have this extra piece, this extra flower. So it's really, this is two-step. It's really a beautiful, beautiful suite. And I think I'll just let you take a picture if you didn't see it last time. These are all the pieces to the suite. So we've got Pearls of Beauty with the clips of coral and I always want to say creamy caramel, you guys. It's not creamy caramel, whatever our current color is. And then the beautiful pattern embossing folder, which I'm using again today. This time I'm using it on white cardstock. So the whole suite is this number, but I'm using Words of Beauty. Here's the DSP, Brushed with Beauty. So just take a picture of this. This is the entire suite. Also 12 by 12 vellum, which I'm not too familiar working with vellum. So we'll see if I end up using the vellum. But for right now, we're going to start in with Petals of Beauty. So let me show you the different pieces. So we're just going to use 8.5 by 5.5 main piece of cardstock, which is beige. I took the embossed beautiful pattern, embossed a half of a piece of cardstock. So this is 4 1/4 by 5.5, and then I just cut it in half so I have enough for 2 cards. And then here are those 2 extra flowers that have no stamps to them. I'm going to use the DSP. This is the back of this gorgeous DSP. And then I'm using Mossy Meadow. And the reason I'm putting something inside is because when you open up a beige card and it's just beige all the way through, it's a little bit on the boring side. So I thought it might be more interesting to put in some Mossy Meadow and some more beige. Okay, then let me just remind you of what all these gorgeous DSPs look like. So yeah. This one, the only one I didn't have that one for you to see. That's the back of this. So what is that? Yeah, that's the orange. This gorgeous one is, not sure what color that is. Darling Duckling, Mossy Meadow, just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous papers in this Brushed with Beauty DSP. So what I'm going to do, you know, the last time I made a card that had a V like this in it, I was cutting 2 different triangles out, but you can't do that triangle trick if your paper is directional like this. It has to be like this. Whoops. It has to be like this, where the paper is not directional, so it can go any direction. And so somebody sent a comment to me and said, why don't you just cut a V in it? And I went, oh, duh, I never thought about that. So let me show you what I'm going to do. I am going to cut a V in this because this is the only way you can use directional paper. Well, I'm going to do it if I can find my, there it is, my ruler. Okay, so what I'm going to do is on the back side, I'm just going to mark a V going both directions, so I'll know where to cut the V. I thought, what a brilliant idea. Even though I love the look that comes with having the corners overlap. I was gonna see if I had, okay. Yeah, here's one time that I did that. Okay, so this, let's see, I think this is this, right? And this is this. And so this becomes 2 right parts, right sides. This becomes 2 left sides. Because if you, wait, let's see. How did I do that again? Like this. Okay. If you just cut it like that, then you're going to get this. So if you, this is non-directional paper, and I kind of like the look of it being overlapped. Even though you can't really see it, you can see it down here. That's about the only place you can see it. But to save paper, and if your paper is directional, so it can't go in any direction, then you're just going to cut a V. So thank you. I don't remember the stamper's name who sent that tip in, but I thought, okay, that's really smart. And then make sure you're cutting it. One time I cut it this way. I was like, oh my word, hello. Okay, so put the ends of the cardstock right over the little, I don't know, and then start from the inside and go out and come back in. If you start here, sometimes you're going to pick up the edge of the DSP in a way that you're not going to like. Okay, so now be careful. Just be thinking, I'm just cutting out the top. Okay, and then we're going to pull this down a little bit and see if we got it. We did. Okay, so now we've got this. And what I'm going to do is just kind of run my fingers up this and smooth it down again. Okay, so here we go. Got all our little pieces here. I'm going to score our 8.5 by 5.5 at 4 1/4. And then we're going to fasten on the Brushed Beauty DSP. So beautiful. Even though this certainly isn't one of the colorful sides. Oh, I love that. Okay. All right. We're going to, you know what? Sometimes I'm using glue. Sometimes I'm using, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to use this some today to stamp and seal. Okay, now we're going to see if we can't get it right over. So this was a full piece, 5.5 by 4 1/4, because we're going to cover up. There we go. And if it's off, it is off a little bit. Hello. I don't know how I did that. So I think what I'll do is just go cut it on my cutter and get it lined up again. Okay, now we're good. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now I do want to get some beige. I thought I had some beige right here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I just want to show you how I did the flowers. I've already cut them out, but I want to just show you. Or maybe I could show you on this little piece. Yeah, I think I'll use this little piece. Okay, so I'm going to use Calypso Coral because I think the Calypso Coral, even though honestly it's not one of my favorite colors, with this it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to take the flat one first. This is two-step stamping, and I'm going to stamp it once on the back, then I'm going to stamp it once on the front. So you do have to stamp it off. Okay, then I'm going to take the more intricate design, and you can kind of see there's a little part of the flower that goes down like that, kind of out. It matches here. So that's what we're going to match it up with. Okay, pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. And then I'm also going to need a love you. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I don't want I love you because I want to be able to send this to a girlfriend. I'm probably not going to go around saying I love you. So I'm just going to take my finger and wipe off the I. Give it a huff. Love you. Okay, and if that little bit shows, that's going to be okay because it's going to kind of be stuck under the flowers. Okay, so then you have to cut these pieces out individually. In other words, there's one die for this part right there. And then this separate part that goes with it has its own die that looks like this. So this is the little top part that cuts this out. Okay, so each flower has two parts to it. You stamp two parts and then you cut two parts. All right, so I've already cut these out. So we're just going to move on from there. Oh, I did want to show you, when I cut out the Love You, I took Words of Beauty, and because there are so many words in here, they have these really pretty dies that go with them, but I didn't need a great big long Love You. So what I did is I just put the Love You just like this, and then, you know, I let it cut out a little bit longer, but I'm going to cut that off, but I'm just going to push it under. And it's not going to matter how long it is, or I don't really need to do this and cut off the other end. That's just wasted effort. So I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible, right? Okay, so now, oh shoot, I forgot to put this in. Oh, Sandy Hancock. Having so much fun with that. I don't know if I can get this up or not. Oh yay, maybe I can. Seriously, this is why I used to love to work with Dotto, because if you mess up, it's so easy to fix it. So let's see if I can fix this. Okay, well, thank heavens I didn't use glue. All right, so let's go see if we can rescue this. This is going to be the new embossing folder called Beautiful Pattern. And I'm going to just stick this in there as far as I can. And you know what? It's not going to cover up right here, and I'm not even going to worry about it because I know the flowers are going to cover up that part. I just don't want to destroy my card. Okay, now let me go cut this off at the top. Or I can just use my scissors and just cut it off. Okay, admit it, you've made mistakes like this too. I just get so excited about moving forward and completely forgot that. So this is that new embossing folder. So fortunately, these little wrinkles are going to get covered up with the beautiful flowers. I am so glad about that. Okay, let's move this dangerous pad out of the way. And then I'm going to look for my tweezers. Here they are. Okay, so I'm going to take my reverse tweezers and just hold it like this. And I'm going to take some glue. And basically, I'm just going to dot it, because you don't need to cover up everything in order to get this to stick. You don't want to make a mess of it, which can be easy to do. And I think if you tried to get the glue on every little part of it, it might be just a little bit too much. Okay, so now we're going to position this so that it goes just about like that, I think. Let go of it there. Okay. See, that's plenty of glue, and thank heavens this is going to get covered up. Phew. Okay, now I'm just going to show you before I put these flowers down. The design is not designed to be perfect. Okay, this is the little wing right here. And so that is about as close as it's going to get. Okay, it's not going to perfectly align. So what I decided to do is simply take a glue dot, put it right in the center. Oops. And then, okay, here again is the little wing that comes down. There's the little wing that kind of comes down. I'm just going to do that. And that's as good as it's going to get. Okay, so now I'm going to position the flowers. Let's see, we're going to have some leaves in here. Aren't these petals pretty? Okay, so this one's going to come down. This one's going to come down to this area. And then let's kind of get a general idea of where this is going. Okay, I think that's going to look good. Okay, so now I'm going to put these on with dimensionals. Just gives them a little boost, and they look really nice. You wouldn't have to put them down with dimensionals, but I think they're pretty. Let's see, which way do I think that goes? Maybe that way. Something like that. Okay, now let go. This, however, I am going to put down with the glue. So I'm going to see if I can just stick this right there like that. Looks good. Okay. Then here comes our next flower. So once you get your pieces cut out here, it doesn't really take long to assemble, and it is worth just a little bit of fuss because this card is so, so pretty. So now we're going to go again with dimensionals. And I think, let's see, we'll turn it that way. That looks about right. Okay, now we've got one more petal to put down. Anytime I can use glue, I like to use glue because it's less expensive than the tape. But sometimes the tape is just so, the runner, it's so much more convenient. Okay, that's gonna go there. Okay, now let's get a couple more dimensionals. Yeah, so if you just kind of get a little bit organized, get your flowers stamped, you can cut out several things at one time. Okay, we don't want these to be the same. We want that to be a little higher or a little lower. Okay, then I'm going to take some of these gorgeous, let's see, what are they called? Pearls of Beauty. And add one to the center of each flower because I think it really makes it pop. But that is if I can get it off. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to go with large because they're just so beautiful. I could go with small, but I don't really think I'm going to. I like large. Okay, very pretty. Woo, I would love to get this card, wouldn't you? Okay, here's my little I love you. And I'm not going to need it to be that long. Oops, so I'm going to cut it. Let's see if that's going to work. If that's going to work. Okay, so then I will take my, well, I was going to use my, here it is, my tape. Okay, and we'll just kind of stick this up in here so the love you shows. Okay, good. Wow, I think that is so beautiful. All right, now let's doctor it up inside because this is just a bit on the boring side. Let's see if I can find my inside parts. Where, oh, where did you put those? Seriously? Is it possible to lose that? Well, it looks like it is possible to lose that. So let me cut another couple pieces real quickly. Sorry about that. I really did have it right there. Okay, so the green is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And then the white is going to be 5 by 3 3/4. Okay. I seriously have no idea what, oh, it's right here. Oh, and you know what? It's not white, it's beige. Okay, good going, Sandy. Okay, so here's are the inside measurements, if you need those. You know what? Really, you get so organized that you don't even know you're organized. Okay, I'm just going to use the tape and put a little tiny bit on each corner, a little bit on the inside. I can add this to the Mossy Meadow. And then we'll do the same thing on the Mossy Meadow. put it inside. I got a little bit of course it's going to stick to my finger because it's got the Stampin' seal on it. Really? Hello? Okay, there we go. And then I think instead of putting this inside, which I still think is pretty, actually that is really pretty. You know what I did? I think what I did, I kind of put two pieces together. I had this piece, which I thought was really pretty. And then I had this piece. All of it is just too much. It's a little bit too much. So let's put down that. And then, I don't know, the green. Of course, it would be pretty to put a little bit of orange in here too, but I'm okay with the green. I kind of let that go over it just like that. There. Isn't that pretty? You open it up. Okay, very, very, very pretty. Okay, so that is card number 1. Now we're going to switch, and I am going to use this gorgeous paper. And from now on, I'm just going to be showing you what I did. I'm not going to actually make any more of the cards, but I'm going to show you 3 more cards. Okay, so the most simple card is this one. And don't throw anything at me, but these are the retired scallop contour dies that make this gorgeous card. And what I did is I took a piece of Petal Pink that's 3.5 square. And this one is, well, you'll just have to see which one fits 3.5 square. I think it's the next to the largest one. But anyway, so then you go ahead and cut it out, and this is what came off of it. Just a little tiny bit around the edges. Okay, so we're gonna throw that out. And then I'll show you what we do for to get the last. So now we've got three parts of it. And so what you wanna do is pull the scallop over a scallop. So see, this has to go, it can't go like this, like right at the edge, because this is off just a little bit. So you've got to pull it down just a little bit so that the scallop is right over another scallop. And you can check on the back. The scallops are right over the other scallop. So good job. So then we'll put this through. Let me go cut this out just so you can see how it goes. I'll just run it through real quickly. Almost. Okay, there we go. Now I'll show you what you end up with here. Take off our little tape. Okay, and you got this gorgeous scallop. And then you can just, I started out with 2 3/4 here, but I think even from that I had to cut it down a little bit. But isn't this a simple card? It's a very, very simple card. And the Petal Pink embellishments that I used are no longer a thing. But if you have, I never get rid of my embellishments. Even, I used to sell them at my open house, and I'm kind of holding on to some of them. Okay, so it's called Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock Foiled Gems. So the Pretty Peacock, I mean the, hello, Petal Pink looks really pretty. I don't think I put anything inside of this yet. I could just put, okay, so I'm gonna put this aside. I think if I take my Calypso Coral, no, not Calypso Coral. I'm gonna go with Pretty and Pink. I mean, Petal Pink. I don't use Petal Pink that often, so it's hard to even get the name out. Okay, now I'm gonna use some flowers from the not the Words of Beauty, Petals of Beauty. I'm going to stamp this. Very pretty. Okay, let me close that out. Have you ever put the right pad in the wrong stamp? Yes, I've done it. So it's better to just get rid of the danger, right? Did it in Calypso Coral. I want to do it in Petal Pink. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe this off. Okay, now let's try it in Petal Pink. And we'll just add, yeah, oh, that's pretty. That's all you need. You just need a little something to perk up the inside when you open the card. So isn't that pretty simple? I mean, I've used this with so many different types of DSP that are interesting like this. You wouldn't want to use a plain piece of DSP, but when it's interesting, you can make a beautiful card very, very simply. And trust me, I will definitely take this scallop square and make another one of those. That one is not going to go to waste. Okay, now, the third card I'm going to show you is very similar to this card in that I used the same embossing folder, but this time I used it with white cardstock. So the beautiful pattern, which comes in the suite. And then I went back to Spotlight on Nature dies, and I'm imagining that quite a few of you have the Spotlight on Nature dies. They are just so gorgeous. Just remember, I don't think the stamps are available anymore, but the dies are. And when you use these little intricate ones, circles, just make sure you rub wadded up wax paper like this. Just wad it up and rub it right over, and then things will just pop out. You don't have to worry about poking out 100 little pieces. Okay, so I did exactly the same thing. I just cut a V in the top, remembered to put this down first before I put this down, and then I used dimensionals under the circle. Initially, I had a white circle here, but that was so boring. So I thought it would be so much prettier if I used the paper on it. And then I went back and used, again, I think these are probably retired, low profile sparkle dots. The green, the yellow, and the blue. But the green ones just work perfectly here. And then our Just Because, and that is from the, I always want to say Words of Beauty, but it is Words of Beauty. Okay, it is Words of Beauty. Okay. And then inside, I just did the same little thing. You don't always have to put much on the inside, just something to make it look pretty. Okay, and then the last card, I did one like this. Let me show you. I used the, yeah, I always want to say creamy caramel. I know it's not creamy caramel. So whatever it is. And this is one of the DSPs, Calypso Coral, the same gorgeous DSP that I'm working with here. But this time, instead of highlighting the Pretty in Pink, I highlighted the Calypso Coral. So, you know, you can kind of go either direction. But this time I wanted to use white. And I just love this DSP. It's very, very pretty. And so I'm using, again, those little tiny embellishments that are Petal Pink. And I just love the white and the pink. I love how they look. So what do you think? Aren't these papers gorgeous? Thank you so much for joining me. If you still need a fall catalog, let me know at sandystamper@earthlink.net, no A in the Stamper. And if you want to look at my website, sandyhancock.stampinup.net. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will look forward to having you again next time.